The bidding standoff for COP31 hosting rights ended today in Belém, Brazil, with the news that the climate COP will be held in Türkiye next year. But with Australia presiding and with the Pacific hosting world leaders for the pre-COP31 summit. Australia's Climate Minister Chris Bowen following up today on the announcement at the COP President's daily presser, where it was made clear the Türkiye-Australia compromise was the best deal possible given the process. Bowen says the fallback default of COP31 going to Bonn, Germany, was not going to serve climate ambition and momentum. Pacific delegations were holding back comment until more details are announced. For now, they're putting their hearts, minds, and negotiators on deck defending their positions as the COP winds down to its final plenary this weekend.
I predict that there would be a cover decision from the presidency with elements that are unresolved that provides a clear pathway on where we move from there. The risk to that would also be anticipating that, how does that set us forward for the work going ahead? Because we do have, past experiences where the cover decision has not been the best, most productive outcome. Nevertheless, this is the best outcome that we can anticipate for items that have no agreement.
There's been word around about a COP possibly being in Turkey with Australia being the president. And although it's disappointing not to welcome the world into the Pacific region, there's real potential there with Australia holding the presidency to show up and be a real climate leader, right? As a friend of the Pacific, as a Pacific neighbor, Australia, if they are president, has the opportunity to do something different, to do something that is needed at COP31. And so, yes, it might not be in the Pacific region, but we're hoping to have pre-COP in the Pacific, and that will make a real difference for the world to really come and see the reality of the climate crisis in our region.
We're headed towards an overshoot of 1.5 degrees, and unless we get emissions down, we're going to see massive sea level rise. So, for example, from the Pacific point of view, recent scientific work has shown that the difference between 2.6 degrees of warming this century and 1.5 is over 65 centimeters of sea level rise in the next few hundred years in the Pacific, right? So there's a very big cost to not doing anything now, and it's going to sink islands like Kiribati, Tuvalu, the Marshalls. It will cause serious damage around the Cooks, for example. Any low-lying area in the Pacific is going to seriously suffer from us not doing this.
Climate scientists have today tipped that global warming can be shaved below 2 degrees by 2040, but only if G20 nations step up and deliver by tripling renewables, halving emissions, and switching down methane. Those like longtime scientist Bill Hare are used to copying it at COP, despite strong support and their research helping to turn public opinion in favor of sustainable renewable energy and that 1.5 limit on global warming. Big oil, big business and big money are still an issue driving the COP to dangerous levels of distraction. But he is adamant the tide of public opinion is turning, especially for a COP meeting that may be unlikely to secure the implementation, the adaptation, or the level of truth needed to keep that 1.5 degree limit within reach.
I've just been part of the launch of the SPC assessment of fisheries in our region back home, and it's very clear from the scientific assessment that the tuna is going to be leaving our areas, but also that the coastal fisheries are going to suffer. So we have to trust the science, and we have to rely on multilateralism then to deliver us the necessary funds through adaptation for the adaptation process.
In Belém, Brazil, for COP30, I'm Lisa Williams for the Pacific Leader.